Hello. We are back. Well, maybe it's gonna be just me. I will show you the lifeline from the Smith Rider Waite. I always get it mixed up because there's so many names in there. Anyway, I'm gonna show you the lifeline for the traditional tarot, and then I'm going to teach from the tattoo tarot. And I'll show you each card side by side so that you can kind of see how different artists interpret the imagery a little bit different. Are you ready? She's ready. So here is the lifeline. These are the cards that make up the first line of the Fool's Journey. We've got card number 1, the Magician, number 2, the High Priestess, number 3, the Empress, number 4, the Emperor. As I said in the last video, we are coming into an Emperor year. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 4, which is the number of the Emperor. 5 is the Hierophant, 6 is the Lovers, 7 is the Chariot. So in this video, I will go through and explain what each of these are. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to take a look at them. So the lifeline is the first 7 cards of the Major Arcana, and it is the start of the Fool's Journey. Someone that is young, they're starting out on a journey, they've got the sun to their back, really positive card, good omen. In this card, he's kind of looking up, in this card, he's looking in the distance. Both cards have the little dog warning them, their little sidekick that's like, hey, be careful, where are you going? In the original card, we can see that he's about to walk off a cliff. In this card, it just looks like he's starting to head somewhere. First card in the Major Arcana is the Magician card. The Magician represents our ability to create and draw on really whatever we want. That we have this innate ability to connect to our, to connect to our divine power, this infinite source of divine creation. We can call on that at any time to intentionally partner with Source, with the universe, to magically draw in, create whatever it is that we want. This next card, the High Priestess, is our understanding of our relationship with our intuition, with this divine part of us. As creators, as magicians, like, we understand that there is this higher power and that we can draw on it to create things. But when we're in High Priestess, like, we're really understanding what that partnership is. There's this black and white balance. There's the crescent moon at her feet and then the cross around her neck. So it's this balance of like religion and spirituality. And, this is the time when we get to really discern, determine, and learn about what religion and spirituality mean to us. And because it's in the lifeline, this is very early on in our lives. Like, many of us were raised in a home with religion. So that might be your introduction into the relationship with the divine, that you might, you might learn about God through church. If you didn't grow up in the church, you might learn about God through nature. You might learn about God through space. There's any number of ways that we can learn about this higher power and this divinity around us, and also our intuition, which is the divinity within us. So this next card is the Empress, and these are the 2 versions. So as you can see, this is a queen, this is luxury, this is really a card of abundance. And it's a card that typically represents the feminine energy, but in a lot of other versions of tarot, the Empress is often depicted as a pregnant woman. And so that's the ultimate expression of like feminine abundance, to be full with child, and to be open enough, to be receptive enough that that we can carry children and bear children. So when we talk about feminine. In the next card, we'll talk about masculine. But when we talk about like feminine energy, it's not defined by gender. So when we think of the feminine, it's the ability to receive. The feminine is flexibility and influence. The feminine, to me, in my opinion, is best represented by water. When we look at the way that water can influence landmarks over time, like the Grand Canyon, like years and years and years and eons and however many years of water flowing through that area is what created the Grand Canyon. You know, when you look at like river rocks, like they're really smooth because the water just like flows and flows over them. It's able to move kind of around obstacles and continue to just kind of push forward. But also the influence of that is in its movement, it changes and influences and smooths out these stones. And so that's what the feminine energy is. So anytime you've experienced someone that is able to influence others in a positive or negative way, that is feminine energy. So it's not limited to only women. So this next card is the Emperor, and this card is typically the representation of the masculine energy. So this card is, it's a king, it's the pairing to the Empress. And so we can see him, he's got his armor on underneath this big red cloak. He's sitting on a throne. There's a lot of strength in this card. The masculine energy is like a mountain. It's strong, stable, unmoving. It's also the wind. Like when we look at those, like the giant wind, I was gonna say wind projectors, that's not even a thing. Wind turbines, sorry. The way that like the wind can push these giant turbines to generate electricity, that's very much the masculine energy. This card also represents independence, it represents strength, but it's in a really, it represents power in a really healthy way, because when we look at this card, he's just sitting. He's not fighting anybody. He's got his, you know, on both cards, he's got his hand on his staff. Doesn't look concerned, doesn't look threatening. It's this energy of security. This is who I am. I'm the king. I'm here to do king shit. So this card also represents the year that we're coming into. So it's a 4 card, 2020 is a 4 year. So many of us are shedding things, letting go of things to get to this stronger, more independent, more secure, more grounded version of ourselves, because there are things that we need to do, that we need to be in a place of security to do those things. So the next card is the Hierophant. The original or the traditional card has a lot of religious overtones to it, but really the essence of this card is that the Hierophant is the teacher. So, you know, in the traditional sense, like religious people were the teachers in the time of, you know, this original art. And as we see this person, like he's looking down on these 2 people that are smaller than him, but it's not because he's better than them. It's because they're, you know, they're his students, like they've come to him, and he's larger in knowledge than they are, and they're ready to grow. So this card, the saying that I always think of when this card comes up is, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So that's the Hierophant, it's the teacher. So the next card in the Lifeline is the Lovers. And so this is definitely like a favorite card of people that like tarot. Again, in the traditional card or the traditional artwork, it's got some, it feels like it's got this very Adam and Eve feeling to it. There's this angel up here, they're naked in the garden. There's got this little snake next to Eve. So it's got a lot of biblical overtones to it, the burning bush. in the Tattoo Tarot. This is more of the modern depiction of it. Like there's a heart, there's two people kissing. This is very much a card people like to get because they feel like it's this message that they're destined to be with whoever they are with at the time. But really this card is about the fact that we're mirrors for each other. And the things that we are seeking from a lover are the things that we need to provide ourselves. So a big teaching element of this card, as far as the lifeline is concerned, is really, you know, learning how to see others like ourselves, learning how to treat others like ourselves. You know, because when we think about that lifeline, this is like the first 7 cards of your life, you know, that you're learning a little bit of independence. You know, this is kind of like a toddler learning how to say no. No, I don't want to share my toys with you. No, I don't want to do that. And then this lesson comes in that like, hey, you don't have to share your toys with people, but people also don't have to share their toys with you. And if you're going to be a jerk, other kids don't want to play with you. And realizing that you really want to play with other kids, but because you don't know how to get along and share, now you're alone and you really just want to hang out with someone. So kind of this is like learning how to get along with other people, how to have friendships and relationships, and what to do and not to do. And for those of us that go through the life cycle again, once we finish all, you know, life, death, rebirth, this can be a card that symbolizes learning how to love ourselves instead of seeking love from somewhere else. We are at the last card of the lifeline, and this is the Chariot. So this card has some black and white elements to it, balance. When we look at it, one thing to notice about the card is that it's the chariot, not the charioteer. So as human beings, of course, we're going to focus on the person in the card, but the thing that we really want to pay attention to is that if you look at both of his hands, he's not steering the chariot. These two are. He doesn't have any, you know, reins to hold on to. Like the chariot is carrying him somewhere. And so the chariot is carrying him into this next cycle of life. I would say 18 to 22 years is about how long that first lifeline lasts. You know, because that's when we come into adulthood. That's when we've gone through, most of us have gone through enough experiences to get to a point in our lives where life is taking us somewhere else. Like maybe life is taking us out of school and into the workplace. Maybe life is taking us away from home and into college. This is very metaphorical as to transitioning us from the lifeline to the death line. That was the lifeline of the Major Arcana. So I would like to know from you, which of those cards really stood out to you? Was it the Fool? Do you identify with the Fool? Carefree? Is it the Magician? Like, are you just a manifesting king or queen? High Priestess? Are you in a place of like really deep intuition right now? Empress? Is life super go with the flow, very abundant, life is great? Is it the Emperor? Are you feeling really strong, secure, grounded in who you are, not taking anybody's shit? Because 2020 is coming and it's a new decade. The Hierophant? Are you looking for a teacher? Are you a teacher for someone? Are you ready to level up? Are you ready to learn new stuff? The Lovers? Are you ready to call in your soulmate for 2020? Are you ready to be your soulmate? Like, are you ready to really work on like some deep, deep self-love? And then the Chariot. Are you like, take me into this next decade. Let's get it. Let's go. Let me know which of these cards resonate with you. Obviously, you can pick more than one. You could be like, I am totally in the lifeline. None of that resonates. What are you talking about, lady? Where are your cats? That's what we want to see. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.